7 o'clock, so can we make a start, please? And I welcome everyone to the November meeting of the Finance, Employment and Services Committee. Are there any apologies?
I'm sure about.
Are there any declarations of interest? No. Minutes of the last meeting held in October. Would anyone like to move them or set them along? Have any comments on those minutes?
I'll move them.
Any comments? No? All those in favour? Thank you. Public forum, there is no one here. Item 6, financial update, and there's item A, B, and C. We can take them together if you want. Do you have any comments on the review report?
No, just discussing with Steve. We seem to be on track for the time of the year for the amount of spent. So after out of the order.
So I'm trying to count.
We're into November now, so it's on 7th.
Yeah. What else up here? Most things are 50. Most things are 50%. So that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
work out how they look about that. Sure, there'll be more. So it should be.
Probably. But yeah, from our point of view, there's nothing. That we all with it.
Good. Moving on. Item 7.
Oh, we got, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Howard and Glenda. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Item 7. Blues Festival 2025 expected after.
Yeah, so I think that basically everything has come through now. For the Blues stuff extended July. To be honest, I don't think we've done half bad. Because we have actually invested quite a lot this year. We invested in a new stage for downstairs, mobile units for the merchandise stalls. So we did actually spend quite a lot on infrastructure. So considering we did that, I think we actually did. Along the same line, if we hadn't spent that money, we may have actually done better than we did last year. So I think, yeah,
yeah, I think when I read this earlier, when the sheet of whenever you like, I was not pleasantly surprised. That's the wrong word, but surprised it was so near to last year's field, knowing that there'd been all the extra infrastructure.
and obviously we have a stage as well this year, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we paid behind
Yeah.
that as well.
And when you think that the artist fees, for instance, have gone up because they will. Well, one of the difficulties of when it's successful and you can get bigger artists, it's going to cost a little bit
Yeah.
more because they charge more. But as well, the extra income we got from bars all helps to bring it to that 60 and quite a few years now. The spend or the deficit is hovered around somewhere from, in a very good year, it's 55, would be very lucky. In a bad year, it's 75. So somewhere at 68 is about what I expect, particularly as well as prices and things have gone up. So all in all, it's good outcome. So presumably, if you want to move, you have to put a record that we accept these figures subject to any last minute
Yeah.
adjustments.
Alex,
Just two items that I'd just like this evening. Merchandise sale. We look like we've gone down. Is there any reason do you think for that?
I'm not sure. I mean, we only had them out, we didn't have them out on as many days as we did last year, and Portland won last year, and I think that's the main reason for that. But I do think we could do a lot better on it, given the size of the festival. So I think that we should really. But I mean, we did invest obviously for the mobile stations, which will make it. But I think we should have more organised. We can get the merchandise stalls out. But then again, it's volunteers as well, getting the volunteers.
And then also camping fees. £2,000.
Yeah, well, what actually happened is, and I think it was because the bank holiday was earlier than expected, because it fell earlier than usual, and because of that reason, the online camping sales weren't as high as they were last year. However, the amount of walking was higher than it was last year. So people just turning up on the weekend and wanting to book a pitch. And I think, to be honest, it evened itself out, and it ended up total just being similar to what it was last year. It was just less online and more on the.
It just looks like we got 13, and then this year 11.
there is one thing about the merchandise, because I was sat downstairs most of the weekend. It was very noticeable, particularly on the Saturday and later into the Saturday, and then in particular on the Sunday. A lot of the merchandise ran out, and what happened was we had such a lot left on other years that Nathan cut down on what we got in as stock.
Yeah.
And somewhere you're juggling figures, aren't you? Do you get extra or do you get less? So you haven't as many left. And it's a case of getting it just right. But we did actually run out of a lot of t-shirts ran out by Friday.
I saw the last t-shirts on my lot at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and
And I was, people still coming at 6 o'clock asking for
they
the.
were asking for more.
Yeah.
So do we next year, do we get more in on the hope that we sell more and risk being left with a few? It's just getting the balance right.
it also depends on on what the weather's like, because it was a brilliant weather. The way weekend was absolutely fabulous weather-wise,
Yeah,
whereas the previous year, it wasn't very good, was it?
it wasn't very good the previous year, no. It is very weather dependent.
I mean, I do the ladies, they do say that we don't have more than, women's services. And I know that Nathan just gets bigger.
we get some medium upwards.
But then the medium one, so I know the two big ones that was put over. I know that when the Blues Society have failed, they had all different sizes and they sold a lot. And also they were looked at quality as well. They were more expensive, but they were nicer t-shirt.
Yeah.
But unless it gets some more on that.
We are hoping to go for a different design this year, and we also are going to have a limited edition 35th anniversary t-shirt as well. And the same with the pin badges. We're going to do a festival one and an anniversary one.
Can we take on board that we do try and get some extra small for the more petite figure?
Yes, we can look at it.
Which is
Anything else on that?
So we have a proposer,
I'll second it.
Howard.
We don't need to vote on it, because we're only noting the information, aren't we? Item 8, Blues Festival catering.
So this has mainly come back from feedback from obviously prices around the catering and expensive food. Obviously, when they're giving pictures, it tends to increase the price, obviously, which is better in cost, but in order to cover that cost, they then have to charge a lot for the actual product. So what we thought we would try is actually, rather than it being a bidding process, for it to be a fixed fee for a pitch. And those that are actually applying for the pitches, to actually say what they're going to be selling and what prices they're going to be, that we know beforehand. And then we can allocate the spots. We think it'll bring a bigger variety in as well, so there'll be a lot of different foods around. And it possibly will allow us to create some more. We may be slightly down in income line, but then it will mean that the products that are sold will be at a fair price.
Checking whether anybody's spoken to Tony Shaw, stay getting you over there, just to stay at the same thing, and too expensive. We were trying a new system, last year, so maybe we could ask Canberra how that went and what sort of food, and how we're trying to get better quality food and fresher food, how not how did it go up there,
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, this has come from the Blues committee. They have discussed it there. I'm not actually sure. Nathan has spoke to. other than myself.
It's not, you
He might have done, I don't know. But would you think that this would help? They are just paying a set fee. But then the choice of who we choose is ours, but
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't necessarily have to go to what you might call the highest bidder, where someone's bought the right to be there and outbidded everyone else. It could give everybody a level playing field to have a chance of being there, wouldn't it?
yeah. So there is a draft application for in the paper, which has been obviously just based on the text document, but I've been very.
This-
I just wondered whether something about packaging.
It is actually illegal.
Just might make.
I think they all have. But I think
That's, you know. Then I speak.
yeah, it's a bit different though, isn't it? 'Cause it's ice, not ice cream, or the snow cones is just ice. You can't really put it on a
No,
ice
no,
cream.
but I'm just sort of saying that you could think, well, we're not having that in our sustainable festival because of that. Yeah, do you see what I mean? If they're planning on that they're going to use that, we could say, oh, we're not going to have that. So we're going to have this type of food. Well,
Like I said, the decision will be out.
Yeah, on a worst case thing with the old system where you bid for it, you've really got to give the highest bidders the pictures. And in theory, you could end up with 3 mobile fish and chip shops there because they bidded the highest and you've no other choice. And that could happen because the highest bidder would get the pitch. So this way, at least you can give some choice, can't you? As well. I would.
It's difficult, I mean, choosing the words carefully, it's lines. At the cricket club, umpire Sunday night, there was very limited catering. But what there was just, yeah. Anybody listening to this? There was, and they were quite expensive. So I don't know how they did their things. But at the same time, they got people from down here,
Lonnie Brown.
yeah, so at least that was something that was away from the norm of things that you get. And well, it was local and the prices were fairly high, but on the other hand, you got a chunk of rounding for
yes,
So-
two birds before time,
yeah, so
and the holiday.
it's
Yeah,
swings and roundabouts, but I think giving the council the choice of the mix that we have, it'll also stop as David just said. If it's a tender, everybody's tendering for probably burgers and what have you. You've got, we know, well, we've got one of them outside, and then for somewhere else we won't have that. sell sushi, so that's, we're going to be too fast.
But it will be easy to make sure that there's, yeah, not something similar outside.
And as you said before, it will give us the chance and then having a couple of extra. Now, if there's someone with a small pitch, maybe they can be squeezed in, whereas
Yeah,
on the old system, it doesn't allow you to do it. We'll see, so we can do is try it.
try it.
Because what analysis part, it does say, you pass major.
Yeah.
It clearly says.
Yeah.
No, wait, it says it's slightly,
No,
more polite.
no,
When it says item for discussion on that one,
but that's just one day.
well, yeah, we need to propose it, setting it and vote on it to authorise Nathan to do it.
Yeah, well, I'm quite happy to propose that we follow
Yeah.
the new process.
Is that seconded?
Yeah.
Those in favour?
Nothing was. Oh. It's just that it says cross on the line, then big line, you cross the one that you want, if you want to be on number one, and that should first put this one, just put this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It needs to be like put your cross in, and then you've got number one, because you've got to.
We,
the two one.
yeah, we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
look
it's
at it.
just a little thing.
We can ask them Nathan to have another look at the one if you want.
Well, we'll just have another read through us and make sure it all
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few typos there.
But other than that, we're okay. Yeah. Right, then, moving on. Item 9, budget. First draft.
Unfortunately, I haven't had enough time. Obviously been away. I only came back last Wednesday. The interviews have kind of got in the way as well. Yeah, but I'm part way through it at the moment. What I suggest I do is once I get to a finished position of like a basic, I will email it out to all FES members, just so that you've got an indication of. I'm not going to include any additional services, anything like that. Obviously, it's like the blind leading the blind, isn't it? But yeah, so it's going to be based on current activities, what kind of increase going to need for next year.
Yeah, so basically what it'll be is a standstill budget, doing nothing other than a repeat of what we had last year, but at whatever this year's cost will be. And then in addition to that, we can decide when we work out what that would cost us on the preset, we could work out what else we would be prepared to add to it and then add up anything to it if we wanted to, won't we, at a later date.
Yeah.
We need to know what the basic thing is before we add anything on, or for argument's sake, you can take something off if we wanted to.
Yeah, I think this year is obviously going to be a strange year because rolling down the road towards it is that local government reorganisation, which may or may not take place in 2007.
I've got 2027.
27 would be when the shadow
Yeah.
thing came. And there are deals that we would like to keep, such as one, the Claremont Strait, the Berkshire Dine, which I think is part of the bequest. Anyway, it's only ever worn in it's only ever worn in the old Corn Borough boundaries, because that's in the bequest for some of us that, well, Peter Burles, the bequest to the accommodation is based on the borough boundary, as it were. It's 1915 or something strange. So I think we should be fairly safe on keeping that. Just it can't be used anywhere else.
Anywhere else, yeah.
And it is the Borough of Garth. The thing that we don't want is what we can manage to take on from the boroughs. You know, there are going to be things that any new giant authority is going to have. Just take sports centres as a for instance. There aren't that many. We as Pendle are unusual in that there are 3 sports centres in the borough. Burnley, as far as I know, only have one that is run on a similar lines to us, and they've got the Prairie playing fields as well. So they've got St. Peter's. And I have no idea what must have got if that's how it goes. But if we get even a bigger one, those are the things look at seriously about whether we need to really save them first. So, at least go and have a baths swimming before Penny get back. So I think we've got to be very careful that we don't see metaphors chuck the baby out of the bathwater. I think we have to be upfront, sort of cheering that. There may be things in there that, and we ask people, look, if you want a swimming pool, sports centre, or a municipal hall, or fortunately we are with parking is shouted in my left again. With that comes a cost. We'll have to be upfront. So if we're going to keep things like that, if he's going to cost X, and I think we're just going to be open about it and say that that's what it is. And until we do the basic, we won't know what any of that is going to be. So you know, we've got to. I know there is a list floating around the saying could be old envelopes that we want to take. But this is going to be all through management for the next 18 months.
Well, we have an extra item that we're going to have at the end of the night, which does cover some of that,
Yeah.
but will do eventually when you figure out what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And that will cover some of that, but you are right. And we've got to get us ducks in a row, but we can only take on what we can afford
Yes, yes, yeah.
take on. What is a bit of a concern this year is some of the things that are in the budget every year haven't gone up for the last 2 years, and that's the grounds maintenance contract and the bush shelters and roadside seats, and all those contracts are on a 3-year contract, so they haven't, in theory, they haven't gone up. They gave us a price 3 years ago, and we're expecting that this time when we get the prices back, they will have taken that into consideration that they haven't gone up 3 years. So there could be quite an increase to go on there for the, for the next foreseeable 3 years. And we don't know what that is, but hopefully by December we'll have got those prices and we'll know what they are. 3 years ago, we came unstuck with it because everything went wrong. We got the prices back after we'd had to set the budget, which wasn't, that was the wrong way of doing it.
We talked about this at the end of the
We'll talk about that on this extra item that I want to do then. Item 10, council manager.
Just, as I said, as a friend, off camera early on, I've had a complaint about the fact that the main clocks upstairs on the tower are still at summertime. Can we try and get them put up to the new DMT? Thank you.
That's the problem. We've got one clock that's permanently wrong because it's an hour in front, permanently. We've got another clock that's only wrapped twice a day. So they both need sorted. It's been wet for a number of days now, Jennifer. Have we sprung any more leaks or not?
No. Not
It's
that
usually
I'm
when it's
aware of.
windy and wet, that's when it comes in, usually.
Yeah. But no, we have had to be right. There is currently roof works going on at the annex. Ongoing. If you, I don't know if you noticed, it's refelt and redoing all one side. But that's still ongoing. We have the boilers, apparently someone is coming to commission and sign them off tomorrow, and then they think they may get the funds to come back and bleed the system, etc., because they'll be there in it.
But the last 3 down that side floor there.
Yeah, but the one in mine's only, it was only hot at the top and it's cold at the bottom. So.
You'll be off the way around there, off the bottom, freezing cold
Yeah.
at the top, because there's no water.
Yeah. The other thing was the bar extension downstairs has actually now been completed. The only thing we need to get is flooring to go on the extra part. Feel free to have a look on your way out. It was done in-house. I think that is mainly Gareth that did it. He's done a really good job. And it's coming at a cost of around £600.
Well,
600.
only at the 100.
Yeah, no, 600. So, which I think, yeah, very good value for money.
chair. It'd be important that clocks will have to be remembered, so won't it?
It will, yeah.
If he puts it right tomorrow, probably be a minute wrong by Sunday, so I'd be tempted to take a guess and put it a minute faster if you didn't put it
I understand people complain, it doesn't make any good.
on. It gets about 5 minutes out, if you do it in a couple of weeks, doesn't it? Or in 3 or 4 days, it could be a minute out.
It's not like it's something that you.
No, but as a guess,
Not that
if you put it a minute fast, it does lose, so it might be somewhere near right by Sunday.
In fairness, that all the people that knew how to sort it with the are no longer with us.
Well,
So, apart from possibly one.
I can bring someone in who knows how to set it. I hope he's listening to this, but he lives in Nelson, so he probably won't. And he knows how to set it. And he would set it first. And Gina's met him, he's been in once. The worry is, he's 82 now, and I don't think it's a good idea for somebody at 82. I don't know how many of you have already been up there, but one of the ladders is vertical for a start, and I'm a bit reluctant to ask him to do it.
Yeah.
We're making those kind of stuff. They're just on board, like, with lots of stuff.
Maybe they haven't involved.
I haven't noticed the colour.
Yeah, I will.
They have to go.
No, you can't wind that back, you have to go
You have to
forward
go,
left hours.
yeah.
And what you've got to watch is you don't get the strikes out. Because when you move it forward an hour, change the clock, you haven't moved the clock on with the chimes an hour, you can move that on again separately.
That's-
It's going to be possible.
Otherwise, it might be right at 11 o'clock on Sunday, but it might strike 12. So you've got to do,
Yeah, that's what I'm
do
saying.
both
We
mechanisms.
need the whole lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on town hall maintenance? Item 11, correspondence received. Now, we could do the extra item on that if you want, because it is correspondence. Does anyone feel it needs to be privatised? There's a slight discussion we're going to have on that. Depends what you're going to say.
Yeah, I would suggest that we do actually, I think that's a private item because it is, does look probably budgeted.
Well, we'll do the correspondence received now then, and then do that separately at the end as a private item. None of you know of as a secret that well, no, I think there's nothing. Items for a future month's agenda. Well,
Set itself.
it's going to set itself because most of the next month's agenda is going to be budget stuff because that's got to be done before we have to declare at the end of, is it end of January?
Yes.
At the January full council, we've got to declare what we want for the preset. So it's going to be mostly budget unless there's something that's an emergency. Alice.
That's your date on the shop. That's gone.
Yeah. That's mainly due to workloads and not being able to complete the
What
survey and the questionnaire.
I can say about the shop is that we put another planning application in to have some conditions changed on the existing planning application that we were granted. They have come back to us and they have said that if we do the shop exactly how we've asked for the conditions changing to, they will approve it and pass it. They can't approve the conditions being removed because we haven't produced the work yet. I wouldn't know what. Yeah, until we've actually done it for them to approve, they have to approve the work. But if we do the work, set out how we've set out on paper that will do it, they will approve it. That's what we've said, and they put that in writing.
Yes,
Yes. So we can move on. It's just a case of getting,
it's just we need to do the loan consultation.
yes.
Yeah,
We need to get on, because the longer we leave it, the more down it is.
And also the longer we're not getting an income from it as well.
Yeah, true.
it purely just. Yeah.
Anything else, as I said, it'll be all budget work apart from unless if something's an emergency, it'll have to go on more. So, but basically it'll be budgetary stuff. The time of the next regular meeting is Tuesday, the 2nd of December. So can I now move that we will go into private session to discuss this one extra item?